Hey, what's up guys, DarkWars005 here, and welcome to a new Let's Play of Guild Wars Prophecies. Now, for those of you who have never played Guild Wars before, this new Let's Play is probably going to be a little bit confusing at first, because Guild Wars does have a bit of a learning curve, but it's not too hard to grasp, and I will be explaining things as I go. So, apologies to all of you veteran Guild Wars players who may be watching this video, but I will be taking the first few episodes to kind of go over some basic gameplay mechanics while we do the quests and everything. So hopefully you guys won't find that too tedious, but overall this game is amazing and I can't wait to get this Let's Play started. So why don't we start up Prophecies here. You can see I do have these 3 campaigns purchased, so we will be covering all of these eventually on the channel, but for now we're just going to start with the first one. Alright, so here you can see we have the profession select screen. Now the professions in Guild Wars are basically like your class, so you can see here we have Warrior, Ranger, Monk, Necromancer, Mesmer, and Elementalist. Now there are 4 other professions which you can play in the other campaigns, but for this one those are not available, so we have these 6 to choose from, and I will be choosing my character off screen and showing you guys what I chose afterwards. But first, I wanted to go over some of the basic mechanics of each of these professions to maybe help you choose which one you might want to play if you're new to Guild Wars and have never done it before. So here we go. From left to right, we have the Warrior. Now, the Warrior is going to be your pretty much your heavy armor class. They have the highest armor rating of any of the professions, and they also have the greatest melee damage capabilities, so that's going to be using axes, swords, and hammers pretty much, and you can get different skills for those, so that's going to be basically the Warrior in a nutshell there. Now the Ranger has access, of course, to bows, so the weapon of choice is going to be the short bow and the long bow, obviously. However, they also have access to something called a horn bow, which is a little bit different than either of those two things, so those are their 3 weapons of choice normally. They also have the unique ability to be able to tame wild animals and use them as pets, and they have a whole slew of skills that they can use to perfect beast mastery, so you can, if you wanted to, you could just use your pet to deal pretty much all your damage and help support them, so that's a pretty interesting aspect of this class. Next we have the Monk, who obviously is going to be the healer class for this game. Now the Monk does have very small capabilities for dealing damage, but nevertheless he does have some, so you are able to use some offensive moves with Monk, and you can in fact create a very successful damaging Monk. However, most people prefer to play Monk as a support class, and oftentimes many teammates are going to appreciate you playing them as a healing class rather than a damaging class. However, you're free to choose either way, so just you can mess around with that. I don't recommend the Monk class for someone beginning Guild Wars. Really, any of the other professions would do fine, but Monk probably reserved for more advanced players. Although if you are adept at playing healing classes, you might want to give it a try. Alright, so moving on to Necromancer. Necromancers obviously are masters of the undead, so basically they're going to have the unique ability to raise undead minions from corpses of enemies that you've defeated in combat, so you're going to be able to raise pretty much an army of the undead, and it can get pretty hectic, but if you're good at maintaining all of your minions' health and all that good stuff, you're able to pretty much have a nice little army there which you can command around and have them pretty much do your bidding. However, you do also have the option to not use any of the minion spells, so they are capable of dealing damage without the need to actually resurrect minions from the dead. So, moving on to Mesmer, a pretty unique class to Guild Wars. I haven't seen this done in too many games, or any concepts like this really, so the Mesmer is basically a master of illusion, so they're going to be able to pretty much limit the capabilities of the opponent, so whether that be limiting the amount of energy they have access to, or interrupting skills. That's pretty much what their specialty is. And Mesmers can also be quite tricky to play if you're a beginner. However, if used correctly, they can actually be quite powerful. So that is a class to consider as well. And finally, we have the Elementalist, who is going to be the master of fire, earth, air, and water, the 4 elements. And they also have the greatest amount of maximum energy to use for casting spells, and also the greatest capability for dealing damage to multiple or single foes. So I believe they have the highest damage dealing capabilities out of any class. I may be wrong on that, but if I am, they're definitely very high up there. So Elementalist is a pretty easy class to get into if you're a beginner, because they're very versatile and you can pretty much customize them however you want. So that is something to consider as well. Alright, so I'm just going to cut away here, and I will see you guys on the first cutscene, where I will remain quiet, and after that you will see which character I've decided to make, so I will see you in a moment.
The last day dawns on the kingdom of Ascalon. It arrives with no fanfare, no tolling of alarms. Those who will remember will speak fondly of the warm morning breeze. People carry on with their daily lives, unaware that in a short while, everything they have ever known will come to an end.
Scribe?
Yes, my lord.
These Char are relentless, but we shall hold the wall at all costs.
Yes, my lord.
Take this message to Sir Titus. Go forth and recruit the strongest, the smartest. Bring to me the bravest in all of Ascalon. Find me the heroes who will lead our kingdom to glory.
As you command, my king.
Wow, just look at that scenery. This game is incredibly beautiful, guys. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that cutscene there. If you can tell, I have decided to make a ranger for this first Let's Play, so that's going to happen. I already have some characters on my other account, so I tried not to make a duplicate. I haven't really played a ranger too often, so maybe this will be exciting and a learning experience for me as well. So why don't we go over some of the very, very basics here. You can see the town crier has an exclamation mark over his head. This is going to signify that an NPC has a quest available for you, so let's take his quest. Excuse me, you're Dark Aura, aren't you? I think Sir Titus was looking for you. He said he had some good news for you. So there we just accept the quest. Let's talk about the minimap real quick. You can see up here we have a green arrow that now points to our current quest location, so that's going to be the destination we need to work towards. Once we get close enough to our destination, it is going to become a green starburst, which is going to show that you are within range of the compass. So right over there we have Sir Titus. Now for this first video, I'm going to be reading the dialogue from these characters, something that I have not done in this game before, so I don't know like the exact storyline really, because what you get is pretty much just from the cutscenes. I never actually paid attention too much to the character dialogue, so this will be interesting for me as well. But if this is something you guys don't want to see in future episodes, just let me know in the comments and I will be glad to stop it. I'm not the best voice actor, obviously, but I'll try to read it as dramatically as possible. There you are, my friend. I'm glad you are here. I have news that I think you'll appreciate. So we're just going to accept our reward. Here it's going to tell you the rewards you will get for completing this quest. And there we go, plus 100 experience, and we got some gold. I've been looking for you everywhere, Dark Aura. The king has ordered a new offensive against the Char. This is your chance for glory and adventure, but you'll need to know more about your craft before going north of the wall. Tell you what, travel to the southwest gate, which will take you to the lakeside country. I'll have Artemis the ranger waiting for you outside. She can show you a trick or two. Alright, so this is going to show you again the reward you will get for accepting and completing this quest. We'll just click the green checkmark option to accept. I will be going over what the interface does and what everything on the screen does later. But first, why don't we talk about one of the pretty unique features about this game, which is the idea of having an instanced explorable area. So you can see here, we are in the main town of Ascalon City, and we can see other players who are online at the time. Now, once we leave through one of these fog portals into an explorable area, we will no longer be able to see any just normal human players unless they are part of our party here. Now, to add someone to your party, you're going to click on them and click add. So it's pretty easy. You're just going to click here on the plus symbol where it says invite, and that will ask him if he wants to be a part of your party. And if he does, it'll join, and once you leave to the explorable area, anyone in your party will go with you. This is basically to keep people from stealing loot that basically belongs to you, so it also makes it a little less crowded and cuts down on lag, so that's a nice feature. Why don't we head out to Lakeside County and talk to our Ranger Master. You can see here the loading screens go pretty quickly once you've loaded them for the first time. Now, on the very first time when you're loading, it can take quite a while to load, but once it's done with that, any future time you go there should be fine. So here we have an arrow signifying that this is a accepted quest already, and this is one of our destinations. So let's speak to Artemis the Ranger. You must be the aspiring ranger I asked to meet. Alright then, let's get started. We'll begin by giving you some hands-on experience with your bow, but you should keep in mind that this profession requires a diverse skill set. As a ranger, you'll have an opportunity to learn how to set traps, gain an animal companion, and use nature rituals to alter the entire battlefield. Believe you me, enemies will fear your combination of range, speed, and toughness. Yes, it's good to be a ranger. And for that, we're going to get 250 experience. Now you can see here a reward for this quest is going to be 500 experience, and we're going to be getting 2 skills, so that will be helpful in the future. A horde of scale down by the river road has been hunting human prey to feed their queen. You must put an end to this. If you can get them to flee into the woods, they should lead you right to her. Eliminate the scale queen and report back to me. Alright, so for this first quest we're going to have to do it without any skills, so that's going to basically be your neutral attack. Now, your neutral attack can be accessed at any time. When you're holding a weapon, you can see I automatically have my starter bow here. So to engage an enemy, you are just going to go up to them and click. This white circle on the minimap here is the aggro zone, so any enemy within this will become aware of me, and if the mob is hostile, it's going to attack you. These scale you can see here aren't hostile until provoked, so even though they are within the aggro circle, they aren't going to attack me until I attack them. So let's attack them so that they will lead us to their queen so we can finish them off. You can see here I can end them in about 2 shots. Once I kill one of them, they're going to run down towards the river. So this should be fun. I think the scale queen is right there. So why don't we kill all of these guys so that we can get the experience, because we might as well. These scales shoot projectiles, so you can utilize the strafe command by holding down right click and using the side to side move buttons. You can see here this can actually be kind of useful for dodging projectile attacks. However, you do have to be kind of a far distance away and time it really carefully. This game wasn't built too much around dynamic combat, so if that's what you're looking for, Guild Wars 2 actually did try to build on that a lot more than this game. However, the combat system in this game is pretty awesome even still, so It's not a horrible thing. Here we have a warrior drop, so that's a hammer. Won't be too much use to a ranger, so we're not going to pick that up. It probably wouldn't sell for too much in the market either, so not a huge loss. Flame artifact, you can see this gives +3 to energy, so that's more of an elementalist item. A bow is two-handed, so we cannot hold an offhand item like a flame artifact. And while I'm on the subject, why don't we go over the inventory screen really fast. Like I said, you'll have to bear with me. This first few episodes are going to be a little tutorial-y. So to open your inventory, you're just going to press the I shortcut. This will bring up your inventory and show your character. Here on the right side, we have all of the armor you can wear. On the left side, we have your main hand and your offhand. So these are going to be for a shield or an offhand weapon, things like that. We have an area for a cape. We have an area for a costume as well. Costumes will not benefit you skill-wise, but they do look cool, so you can get those in the future. Here we have our backpack, which holds 20 items. You can hold up to 20 items in this slot. However, you can also purchase belt pouches and extra bags from any merchant, pretty much. And these are going to give you 5 additional slots each, so that's useful to have. Here you have weapon sets, so you can customize different sets of weapons, which will appear down here. So you can see if I check these, I can have up to 4 weapon sets, which can be accessed with the F1 through 4 keys. And if I set different weapons here, I can easily use the F keys to switch between them. However, right now we only have 1 bow, so we'll just stick with weapon set 1. That's pretty much it for the inventory screen. Up here you're going to see a list of heroes, which we will get into probably not in this campaign. So let's head back to Artemis and claim our reward and our skills so that we can go over a little bit about what skills do. And that'll probably be it for this episode after we do that, so hopefully you guys enjoy this. This is going to be the first video to go up on my channel where I record longer than 15 minutes. I mentioned in one of my Minecraft videos that I had access to do so, and a couple of you mentioned that you did in fact want me to do, or to try at least doing 25-ish minute videos, so I will do that, probably longer if I'm kind of on a roll and don't really have a good place to stop, so you never know. Sir Titus was right. There is something special about you. I have no doubt that you can be entrusted with a few skills. Use them wisely. Haversdan should be here in a moment if you desire further guidance. Alright, so here she's given us 2 new skills. We have Power Shot, and we have Troll's Unguent. Unguent? I don't know. Sorry if I butcher any of the names. So let's go over what the skills, the skill menu is, the description above it basically. So here we have Power Shot. You can see it has 10 followed by a blue sphere. The blue sphere is basically telling you how much energy it's going to cost to cast this skill. So here we have our energy bar, the blue one here. We have 25 max energy, and that will regenerate slowly by 3 arrows over time. Now different professions get a different amount of regeneration, so elementalists for example will have a little bit more than rangers, and warriors will probably have a little bit less, and they also vary in the maximum amount they have at one time. So for rangers we get 25 because we're not going to be casting too many high mana abilities, so that's what the blue sphere is going to signify. Now a number next to a swirling arrow is going to signify the recharge time on your skill. So for instance, if I cast Power Shot on an enemy, I'm going to have to wait 3 seconds before I can cast this skill again. While it's unable to be cast, it will be grayed out, and it will slowly regain color anti-clockwise, or sorry, not anti-clockwise, clockwise, as it goes around, and once it's completely full up, we can use it again. Now you can see here it says that it is a bow attack, so we are going to need to be to have a bow equipped basically to be able to use this skill. The target foe takes 25 damage, so anyone we hit with this is going to take 25 damage, minus however much armor they have. So different enemies have different armor, and some enemies are resistant to certain things, so it gets very complicated. But basically that's that. You can see the 25 is highlighted in green. This is going to be what increases basically as we add points into our attribute, which in this case is marksmanship. You can see in parentheses at the bottom. For example, this one here, we have a wilderness survival attribute and a green +3. So the +3 is what's going to increase as you add attribute points into the attribute that the skill resides under. You can also see that this one has a sort of a tan sphere next to a 3. Now this sphere is going to indicate the casting time. So if I were to cast this, I will have to wait 3 seconds before it's cast. So here I'll give an example. You can see we have a loading bar. That's how long it takes to cast a skill. Once you've cast a skill that has a duration on yourself, it's going to appear in this top corner here, and you will be able to see what you have cast and the remaining time you have left on it. You can see this one lasts for 13 seconds. So that's basically that. Why don't we show how to add attribute points to your skills? So to open that menu, we're going to select K, and you can see here we have our different attributes. Now every profession is going to have different attributes and usually one special attribute. So you can see these ones, most of them have no inherent effect. However, certain skills, when you put them in, it's going to add a passive ability to you. So for every attribute point we put in Beast Mastery, it's going to increase the critical hit chance of our pets, etc. Expertise is going to basically decrease the energy used for all of our attacks by 4%, and marksmanship is going to increase the damage we do with bows, as well as increasing the skills for each of those attributes. So I recommend putting attributes in just a few of these and specializing in just a couple. Now, in order to get attribute points, you must level up. You can see our experience bar is down here. We are about halfway to level 2. For every level you get, you will get 5 attribute points. So there is a limit to attribute points you can get, obviously, because there is a max level. So basically, the way the level system works in this game is that the level cap is 20, which seems a bit low and it can be reached quite easily, but the reason for this is simple, and that's that Guild Wars wanted to focus more on the PvP aspect of the game rather than the PvE, although the PvE in this game is pretty amazing. But basically they wanted a balanced PvP, so they didn't want it to be about grinding for hours basically to get the highest level and the best gear. So everyone's on an even playing field, and it's more about the skills and the strategy you choose to put. And Guild Wars has so many skills that you can pretty much make a unique character. You can use just any combination of skills you want, really. And I'm pretty sure there are still some undiscovered great skill choices that you can do, although you can look up some professional ones that people have tested and that work. So all of these things, Guild Wars is just so customizable in the skill department. So we're going to talk to Haversdan, and then we are going to end the episode here, and we will do his quest in the next episode. So you're the ranger Sir Titus was telling me about, aren't you? Well, I imagine he's right that you've got potential, but potential won't save you from a Char firestorm. Experience will. I suggest you head southwest to Ashford and talk to Devana. She's bound to have a task or two for you. Alright, so in the next episode we will head down this long road to Ashford and speak with Devana in regards to getting maybe some new missions to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a drag with the tutorials and everything. It'll be over in the next couple episodes. I just want to make sure that all of the people who aren't familiar with this game understand the basic concepts, because otherwise you're not going to know what's going on and it's going to be much less fun to watch. So for all of you veterans out there to this game, hopefully you'll bear with me and enjoy it anyway. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Please comment, rate, and subscribe if you liked the video. I will see you then.